What's going on, guys? It's Ben here from BH Aquatics, and in today's video we are finally doing the 2019 Fishroom Tour. So this will be the third Fishroom Tour that we've ever done yearly wise. We've done a 2017 to 2018, and now we're doing the 2019. Before we start off, I'd like to start off by thanking you guys so much for all the constructive criticism, all of the supportive comments, and all the likes and subscriptions and everything that has contributed to making my channel better. Because all these constructive criticism, all the supportive comments, that helps me as a person, helps my channel. It helps me and my channel to grow collectively, and I'm really thankful for that. Before we get into this video though, I would like to point out that if you guys are not already subscribed, I recommend you do so, because we have plenty of how-tos, DIYs, care guides, and many, many more videos for you guys to see coming out, and ones that we have already come out with. So make sure you subscribe, like this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's get right into the fish room. Alrighty guys, so starting out, what we're looking at right now is the centralized aerator that works as basically the central air pump that runs every single tank that I have in my fish room, going all the way down from all the racks, top racks, bottom racks. We have them in the back row. It's even running the 55. Which is pretty awesome. That's something brand new this year, something I'm extremely excited about because it saves energy, saves electricity, and lowers the electricity bill overall. Alrighty guys, so this tank right behind me is the 55-gallon long. It's right now housing my mom's show goldfish imported directly from Japan. But it is actually going to be leaving this 55-gallon, and it's going to be going into my mom's 55-gallon filled with goldfish in her classroom at our school. Now, the exciting part about this tank is once this goldfish leaves, we are actually going to be turning this into a pleco breeding tank and breeding some very special plecos that I've been looking forward to doing for quite a while. This project is going to be a little bit expensive, but I'm going to be able to cover it with some money that I have saved in the BH Aquatics account due to auctions that I have profited majorly from. This tank is going to be completely hardscape, completely aquascapes, plants obviously, that's in the whole hardscape, aquascape quota. We're going to be doing plants and hardscaping, rocks, wood, you name it. It's going to be a great tank. We're actually going to be keeping this light on, changing the lighting system a little bit, and we're going to be doing a lot more with this tank in the future. Another thing this year is this water pump. So what this basically does is it makes water changing easier. I actually got this year for Christmas, one of my many Christmas gifts that I got that benefits my fish room. So basically what we have is just a hose this green hose takes the water after it's pumped through the white hose down here, which we can go and there's a little nozzle here. Once we run this nozzle, we stick it into every single one of my tanks. We can drain as much water as we want, and that water flows throughout the pump, goes up the green hose, and out through the sewer. So it's an excellent water change system. It makes it much easier so that I don't have to do them by hand like I always had to do before. Alrighty guys, so we've talked about the new stuff, but now let's get down to business. Let's talk about the guppies. This is mainly what I've been breeding this year. Actually, this is the only thing that I've been breeding this year. I've been really focusing all of my efforts on breeding a line of light blue albino topaz guppies. There's 3 males, 3 females, 1 male in this tank, in this breeding, I'm not really sure how to say that, but basically this is my main breeding group, and they are reproducing plenty of fry for my fry tank down below, which we will check out in a minute. Although this may not look like much, this is actually a big improvement to the fish room. Before, we had this hose here with the nozzle on top, a controllable faucet ball valve on the top. We only had this faucet, and what we would have to do is every time we wanted to water change a tank in the fish room, I would have to go with a bucket, fill the bucket up, actually this gray bucket, this 2-gallon gray bucket, by hand, just to refill all of these fish tanks anywhere from a third to halfway. And with this new nozzle connected to this faucet, it works excellently. That's all I do is grab the nozzle, grab the hose, stick it in one of the tanks, turn this on before I do it, and then flick on the ball valve, and then it just fills up the fish tanks like it's nothing. So the tank you're looking at right now is also a guppy tank. We're right now, we actually, earlier on in the year, we installed this tank as well as the rest of the top tanks here. We have 5 new 10-gallon tanks in the fish room, and this is one of them. At first, we put this tank in so that we could breed these glass lace-belly guppies that I picked up at the Rhode Island, Tropical Fish Society of Rhode Island auction, but unfortunately, for some reason, all of the females had died off in the colony, so now that's all we have left are 6 males. Hopefully we can pick up some females at the next auction, and hopefully start breeding them once again. If you guys have been keeping up with my channel, you would have known that this is going to probably be one of my favorite tanks to talk about in this Fishroom tour of 2019. The reason why this is one of my favorite is because this is an experimental breeding tank. We're attempting to breed both red velvet swordtails along with some plecos, some bristlenose plecos. At the same time, eventually we're going to add in some corridoras that we specially order from, I believe, South America. So, altogether, we'll be trying to breed 3 total species of fish, all simultaneously, and at the same time being able to turn them over for a decent profit with a decent amount of fry from each of them. Although the plecos are not out in this tank, obviously they are most likely hiding due to the new light that is over their tank. They right now are probably hiding in one of the 3 pleco breeding caves, and if not, they could be hanging on to the new heater or our sponge filter, which is part of the new filtration system that we've added to the fish room this year. For food, we just feed our red velvet swordtails regular flake food from Ken's Fish Supply, I believe that's what it's called. And for our plecos, I actually feed them cucumbers on this fork, which is very nice. It's very good for them. They'll just go, and once they're used to it, it might take a little bit for your fish to acclimate to being fed a different type of food rather than pleco wafers, or maybe they're just eating algae. I'm not really sure how you guys particularly feed your plecos, but if you do have a nice fork that you wouldn't mind using for your fish, you wouldn't mind your fish taking it over, I definitely recommend slapping a cucumber, maybe even a potato slice on the end of it, and it will do wonders to your pleco breeding setup. Alrighty guys, so as I said when we were looking at the Blue Albino Topaz Guppy Breeding Group tank, we would be taking a look at the fry tank for the Blue Albino Topaz Guppies. This tank currently is being inhabited by about 20 to 25 Blue Albino Topaz fry. I have been culling them, but I am not the kind of person that will cull and feed them to a larger fish like my 9-inch Gold Severn Bob. I'm not that kind of person. I do not freeze them. I do not throw them down the toilet. I do not let them die off. I actually keep them, and I'll be showing you my culling tank for Blue Albino Topaz Guppy Fry in a moment. But as of right now, this tank is being inhabited by the Blue Albino Topaz Guppy Fry, as I said, but it is also being inhabited by some Paleatus corridors, as you can see. These guys are really, really nice. I've been growing them out for the past 6 months or so, and they're looking really nice in the size that they are from the size that my dad bought them. So, although this tank isn't that important to the fish room, well, I can't say that. As it is, I cannot fail to mention the quarantine tank. This tank only has one large female red velvet swordtail in it, due to the fact that she actually somehow, I'm not really sure, maybe she got it from where she came from, but when I put her in my tanks, I realized that she had a fungal infection, ick, and I didn't want that spreading to any of my other red velvet breeding group in the experimental tank, so I decided to take her out, make this 10-gallon a quarantine tank since I have so many extra, now that I've set up 5 more in the fish room, and dropped her in, and so far so good. Everything's been doing well, haven't had any more ick outbreaks. You guessed it, guys. This is the Blue Albino Topaz Guppy Cull Group. Obviously, you can see with the red male swimming around there, that is not a blue albino topaz. All of the other ones, although they may look like they are solid blue albinos, they actually aren't. They have a little bit of green in them, they have a miscoloration in their caudals, and we obviously don't want those if we are trying to breed show guppies for showfish. And there's a perfect example. I don't know if you saw that one swimming across the front there, but it in fact had a twisted backbone, which is terrible for shows. You don't want that, but because I am not cruel like some of the people, not naming any names, that do breed show guppies, I like to keep them all in one tank. And we actually have a school for special needs children that is very close by that actually love fish that have their irregularities because they can name them and they know which fish have their names. At one point in time, I'm going to take all these culled fish and drop them down there, donate them to the school so that they can put them in their personal fish tanks, which makes me feel good because then I'm not killing off a bunch of fish that could have lives. Fish lives matter too, guys. And it makes the Perkins children feel good too because they know that they get to name these fish and they're not going to lose these fish anywhere because they know which ones are which. So it's all basically like the circle of how you breed guppies if you have connections like that, and it makes breeding them really awesome when you can see that these children are really enjoying looking at the fish that you've bred. So the tank that you're looking at right now is Bob the Gold Severum's tank. The camera image is a little blurry just because of the lighting. We don't have the proper lighting on this situation, but I am looking to purchase a new light for this tank. This is right now a 30-gallon BioCube. Has quite some reflection. You can see my dad in the corner, you can see me, and Frank Sinatra the goldfish, but that's just because it has the curved front of the glass here. But otherwise, he is in extremely healthy condition. He is 9-inch fish in this 30-gallon. I know he needs a little bit larger. We are going to upgrade him to a larger tank soon. I have mentioned that in a couple of videos. I was originally going to put him in the 55-gallon that I'm doing the pleco breeding project in, but as I said, I do want to I've really been looking forward to the pleco breeding project, and I don't really want to push it off much longer just because it could be very profitable, and I also think it will be extremely fun to set up and cool to watch grow as it progresses through this new year of 2019. But I promise you guys he will definitely be getting a new tank. Hopefully we can set up another 55 gallons somewhere. I'm not really sure where. I'm thinking of maybe setting up a 55 gallon in the middle of Fishroom, maybe setting up like a island countertop, something like that. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to figure it out what I want to do, but overall he definitely is going to get some new place, and I'm really looking forward to it no matter what. So this is the last tank we need to talk about here. It is only about a quarter of the way filled up. As far as I know, it's like a 50-gallon tank, but it's kind of like wide, tall. I'm not really sure. It might actually be a little bit more just because it is a little bit wider than the 55, but it is a little bit shorter than it too. So I'm really not sure. I think it is a 50-gallon though, but it is actually going to stay a fourth of the way filled up, and what we're actually going to do with it is aquascape it, do a hardscape like the 55, and we're going to turn it into just a really nice aquascape with maybe some little corridors swimming around to try and breed those, turn this into a corridor, a wild corridor breeding project, which I think would be really awesome, added on to an epic backdrop made out of some hardscaping, rocks, wood, and some awesome aquascaping plants. Maybe do some little tissue culture plants, do some big Anubias, some big Java fern, Italian Vallisneria, some really awesome plants, something I'm really looking forward to, and I think this tank is going to be really awesome by the end of 2019. Okay guys, so wrapping it up here, what I've been really trying hard to do is do weekly water changes, and that's really benefited my fish room. It's helped the fish to grow faster, breed faster, and it's making the business aspect of this channel run much smoother than it did before. One thing I do have to mention though is that every time I do a water change, this is important, I think it will benefit a lot of you viewers that may be looking to keep up with the health of your fish. Every time you do a water change, once you take maybe 30%, 50% out, I'm not really sure how much you guys do it, when you put that water back in, mix some freshwater salt in there. That's what I learned from Central Mass Aquatics. I'm actually working there now, and I've learned quite a bit, and that's one of the lessons they've taught me, that it's actually really good to do, add salts to your water changes, and it benefits the overall health of your fish in the long run. So I definitely recommend you guys do that. That's something I have done. But now just kind of going over it, like I said, we gotta kind of wrap up here. This is a new phone. I'm very happy about this. It has all new storage, all new camera system. Much better than the last phone. You guys tell me. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you guys think, if the quality of the video is better. And also, last but not least, video schedule for the upcoming year. Last year I kind of overbent myself. I was really thinking I could do 2 videos a week, but obviously you most likely got more or less 1 video a week to 1 video every 2 weeks. But this year I have a solid plan for how I'm going to make my videos, come out with better quality, and consistently come out with videos, so I can come out with at least 1 video every single week on Sundays that is really grasping to you guys, something that you guys will really enjoy. If you have anything that you want to see in my fish room that maybe I haven't shown you, maybe something you want me to set up for you, I will by all means be glad to do it if a good portion of you want me to do it. Added on to that, there's actually not much else for me to say. I'm very thankful, like I said in the beginning, for all of the support you guys have given me through comments, constructive criticism. Always feel free to leave comments down below. It always helps me. That's pretty much it, guys. I mean, not much else I can say. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video overall. If so, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.